How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we have ourselves 3 PSP packages from AliExpress. We have 4 units from 3 different sellers. And I've been waiting for this moment for quite a while. As I made the order last month, these 2 arrived pretty quickly. However, this one was delayed due to Chinese New Year. The price ranges for these things start from $60 all the way to $75, with the 61 being the PSP 1000. And that's a memory card size of your choice. I picked 32GB, and they all come preloaded with a ton of games. They also come with a battery, screen protector, some cables, pouch, you name it, everything that you need to get started with a PSP right out of the box. Which again should be way more cost effective than buying a PSP off eBay, fixing it, and buying all the different parts separately. Although with a lot of work you get a nice result that looks brand new because you're getting brand new shells, it's still way more expensive than buying these PSPs. That is if everything is as described. So anyways, enough talk, let's just get right into it. Let's go ahead and open it up. It's been very well packed. And I think that's pretty much it. Alright, so first off with accessories, we get a pouch that's been heavily dented. A very nice white USB charging cable, gotta say, this is my first white one. As well as a cheap, brand new micro SD card reader, which is really nice to have. Finally, we have ourselves the PSP, and I gotta say, this thing does look pretty clean. Okay, well, it's clean except for this part right here, which looks like it's been hit by a nail or something. It looks pretty damaged, but charging port is good. Wi-Fi switch is functional. And let's see if it has any power. Nope. All right, let's see if we have a battery. Ooh, okay. So we got the cheapo fake 3600 milliamp hours, which is impossible in a size like this. This is more like 1000 milliamp, maybe 800 if at all. And for the sake of testing, I'm going to be using this Austin battery to test it out and throw this cheapo one on another PSP to charge so we can see if it holds any charge at the end of the video. All right, and now let's take a look at the SD card. Do we have one? Yes, we do. So we got the standard micro SD card adapter, and inside we have ourselves a cheapo 16GB. I thought I got a 32GB, but it seems like I was wrong. That's all right, we're gonna be replacing it anyways. Let's go ahead and pop it back in and see if it turns on. All right. Let's see what kind of system they have installed. And it's 6.6 Pro C2. All right, so we got no movies, no music, but we should have some games. And games we do. So we got a decent amount of games here, and some of them are Chinese, some of them are Japanese. We got some AAAs, and some pretty good games included. Overall, not a bad collection for something that you get out of the box straight from AliExpress on a PSP. So I'm going to quickly try this one out and see how it runs. And we got a whole lot of nothing. Alright, so this is the second time I run the game and it's not loading, so let's try God of War this time. Alright, we got some activity right here. Alright, so we just loaded God of War and that works perfectly fine. And I guess that was just a corrupt copy of ATV. So God of War works, so let's try a different game. Third birthday. Cool. Nice. Alright, so let's get out of here real quick and test out the UMD drive with some good old-fashioned Family Guy. And I'm not hearing anything. Okay, I'm hearing something. It sounds like the UMD drive is just kind of jammed. It doesn't want to load. So overall, the console does work out of the box. It does have some working games. If anything, I would recommend changing out the battery and the micro SD card to something better, like a $5 32GB SanDisk. And one thing I forgot to mention is that the buttons here do work perfectly fine. The screen is perfectly clean, the analog stick is perfectly smooth, except it was included with a cheap battery, a cheap SD card, and a non-functional UMD drive. That might need some cleaning. Overall, for $60, honestly, not bad. If you get a working battery, great. If you don't, then you gotta buy one anyways. Let's throw it back into this cheap pouch and yeah, move on to the next one. So this is from a completely different seller, so we'll most likely find different accessories and different games included. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting. And we got quite a lot of goodies here. We have 2 charging cables for some reason. Here we have another micro SD card reader. This time it's slightly bigger. We got a cleaning cloth, a thank you card. Okay. A screen protector, and finally a pretty pristine looking PSP. Pretty sure they replaced the faceplate. There's no way this thing was this clean and they just kept it that way. Alright, so in terms of buttons, they feel pretty good. The analog stick alongside with the buttons do look like they're original. However, I'm pretty sure they have replaced the faceplate. But overall, it does look like a really nice unit out of the box. The charging port is very clean. Top looks pretty clean as well. The UMD door opens up very nicely. And the back looks like it's been dragged through grass or something. But overall, not a bad looking unit. And the nice thing is they have actually included a little piece of tape here to stop the battery from being drained or turned on during shipping. And would you look at that, we have ourselves... Okay, it's not an original battery, it's a fake one. I was gonna say it's an original one, but it looks like a fake one to be honest, and it feels like a fake one too. But at least they have protected it by applying a piece of tape to stop it from draining during storage and shipping. And yes, you can see here that they have definitely opened this thing up and they have reapplied the stickers back on. So let's put that on, close it back up, and take a look at the SD card. And inside we'll find the 32GB that I was talking about. And it seems like it's some kind of brand name, which should hopefully function a whole lot better than the last one. And finally, let's go ahead and turn it on. Alright, so it seems like this thing is still a Japanese unit. They haven't switched around the X and O buttons in the recovery menu, but it overall feels pretty good. Let's see what kind of OS we have. And this time we have 6.6 Pro C3 Infinity. Interesting. So let's see what we have here. Alright, so we should have at least double the games that we have saw in the last one. And on top of that, we should be getting some homebrew of some retro emulators somewhere near the bottom. Yep, there we go. So we got Master Boy, we got NES, Game Boy, I think that's Mega Drive. Oh yeah, and Super NES. Go to ROMs, and this one is in Chinese. It's stuck. I pressed ROMs and it's stuck. Okay, it just loaded. And it's all in Chinese. That's fantastic. Let's just pick a random one that says Super something something 2 hack.bin. And it seems like it's working. We got Street Fighter. Yikes. Whoop. Alright, I'm just gonna quit out of here. Let's try something more PSP. Alright. So, seems like things are working perfectly fine. It looks awesome. Plays well. Can't really complain for like, what, 65 US or something? Let's test out the UMD drive. Again, here goes Family Guy. And fingers crossed that it works. And I'm hearing something. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can't change the region on this old firmware. I gotta update it to the latest version of ARC, then I can easily do it where I can have unlocked regions. Instead, we can try some MotorStorm. I believe that should work. If it doesn't, we got a Japanese app right here. And it seems like the UMD slot is working perfectly fine. You got the usual grinding noises, but nothing out of the ordinary. This game never gets old. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Got 1 and 2. It's probably going to be similar packaging to the last one, and they honestly might be coming from the same factory that is refurbishing these things. And that pretty much looks like it's the case. Question is, are we going to get another double charging cable? And that, well, why? I really don't get it. I do not get it. Are they afraid one of them is not working, so they include 2 just to offset the chance of one of them not working? I really don't know. But what I do know is that I'm excited for the mint green PSP 2000, and it honestly looks in a really good condition. Once again, it also comes with the usual goodies. From the looks of it, it looks like it's an original unit. It's pretty badly damaged on the back, but nothing that we cannot fix. We can probably replace the ring here and do some cleanup on the back, and it should look relatively okay. But let's take a look at the front. So first off, the buttons and triggers do feel pretty good, gotta say. Let's see what kind of battery we have included. That didn't want to come out. Okay. And this one feels like an original battery. It has the right heft. And it also looks like it's been tampered with. They might have replaced the screen. They might have cleaned it up. Who knows? Put the battery back in and close it up. Let's move on to the SD card. And it seems like, whoop. And it seems like we got the exact same unit. All right, let's turn it on. And the battery seems like it's dead. So let's go ahead and plug in a quality battery and see how it turns out. And I don't think it's hacked. But we have 6.6 Infinity, so interesting. So yeah, it seems like they have forgot to fully mod this thing, and it's not reading all the games properly, so we have to do it manually. But for now, I just want to check that the colors are proper on the screen. And thankfully, the screen here is in good condition. Anyways, we'll come back to this one in just a bit. Let's go ahead and check out the final one. So yet again, we got 2 charging cables, microfiber, screen protector, micro SD card reader, and this time I ordered a PSP 3000, which again is from the same manufacturing refurbishment team or whatever. So in terms of condition, it does look like it's kind of scuffed up on the edges. It's in decent condition. It's not bad. Buttons feel good. Flipping it over to the back, we have a ton more scuffs here and there. Nothing we cannot deal with. The UMD door opens up just fine. And we got the usual sticker. Does it turn on? And that's no, not surprising. Let's try it out here. It's got a bit of yellowing here and there on the edges, which is perfectly normal for an original 3000 screen. Is it hacked? Nope. And it's also missing the full hack, so that's kind of funny. I think they have a new guy who forgot to follow the instructions, and that's how we ended up here. Let's quickly take a look at the SD card, and it seems like we got the same one, not surprising. And while we're here, we can quickly test out the UMD drive. It kind of sounds crunchy, but I think it should work. Alright, so the UMD here, although it does work, it does sound very crunchy when it's loading a lot of content. We could probably open it up and clean it up, but that's just the state of it. At least we know it works. Let's quickly test out the UMD on this one, then we can go ahead and conclude the video, as well as seeing if that other battery is working. Alright, so it seems like this one is working perfectly fine. There were only a few grinding noises when loading, but otherwise, I think this is one of the best ones when it comes to the UMD drive. I guess it's just the luck of the draw. Alright, so I left all of them to charge to 100%, and so here we are 2 days later to see how much battery we have left. First off, we have the Phaco battery, and we can already see that the bar is very low. And we're down to 15%, so it says 1 hour, but realistically, if we try to play a game, it might turn off in 5 minutes out of nowhere and then lose our progress. That being said, I want to talk about the listing. So the price actually went up drastically, and according to the listing, I was supposed to get a 2-in-1 combo cable, so one that has a charging, as well as a mini USB for data transfer, and I'm also supposed to get a screen protector, which was not included. That being said, I have done a memory card speed test, and these are the results, so not bad. Now let's move on to the other 1000 model with the other fake battery. And this one is doing a bit better, but not great. We got 26%. And the test results for this one are also pretty good. Now let's move on to the minty green PSP 2000. And we still have 72%, so not bad at all. And I think these ones might be legit, but some things are still kind of off for me, which I'll talk about in just a bit. And let's finally move on to the last one here, which is the 3000. And we also still have 71%. So great results if you get yourself one of the slim ones. But if you're getting the bigger ones, then there's a good chance you might get a fake battery. With this one, I did go ahead and finish modding it. I just had to do 1 or 2 extra steps, and that was pretty much it. Let me show you how that went on the minty green, and then I'll talk about the batteries real quick, just in case that you end up with one that is not fully modded. So we'll go ahead and run Pro Update. There's plenty of videos on this. Hit X and restart. Then you follow that up with Infinity 2. We know it's already installed, so you go ahead and move on to the left screen and hit X and exit. And now if we go ahead and disconnect the battery and turn it back on, we can see that now we have a permanent custom firmware. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the batteries included. So we already know that we're missing items on this one. How about these ones? Well, there's a kind of a funny thing going on. First off, the listing this as 2 data lanes, and then apparently we got some deer skin, game resource, and finally a high definition protective film. So let's quickly go over the batteries again. This one we already know is cheap, just from the labeling. This one, however, it has the logo, it has all the right stuff that makes it look like a legit battery, but it is in fact not a real battery. First off, the weight here is just not right, and I'll prove it with a scale here. We can also see that it has been either tampered with, or it's just a fake battery. Now ignore these straight lines that you see. Those are normal, they happen within the battery compartment. But again, if I go ahead and get a scale here and measure this cheapo 3600, we're getting 29 grams. Now if I put a legit known 1200 milliamp hour, we can see that it is 30 grams. It is actually heavier than the cheapo one. So knowing this legit battery is 30 grams, as well as this other legit one, which is 29, a slightly spicy one for 29, and a super spicy one for also a 29. Now if we check the supplied batteries with the PSPs that we have unboxed, we can see that they are 26 grams. Both of them are relatively the same, which is interesting. They look legit, they feel somewhat legit, but are they legit? So if we take a look here, without taking it apart, the top one here is an original battery that I own. The one on the bottom is the one from AliExpress, and it looks like it has been tampered with. So it may have an original controller board, but the cell has been replaced. And finally, I ran the numbers because now the average price of the AliExpress PSPs are around 75 USD. If you're up for the task, for the same price, you can get yourself a second-hand broken PSP that is functional from eBay for an average price of around 45 USD. You can even possibly factor in a new faceplate or an entirely new shell for the price point of these AliExpress PSPs. So case closed, right? Just get the ones from eBay and call it a day. Well, not exactly, because not everyone has access to eBay or a fairly priced second-hand market in their area, and it just happens to be that AliExpress can actually ship to them. So in those cases, I would say AliExpress is a pretty good place to get these things. They come preloaded with games, they have a working battery, and they're already custom firmware. They've done most of the refurbishment work to get it to an acceptable level, and honestly, it's not a bad deal. You get everything included. It drastically reduces the headache of having to source all the parts separately to get to a working console. And with that being said, guys, that is all for this video. So if you're interested, I'll leave links for these in the description down below. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.